scenes that they pay off people to do and keep out.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Black Hippie Radio.
This is Bring Your A-Game Sports Talk Radio, and we live right on Facebook, and we live through my page. First time I done did this, let's see how many views I get. Right now we down here in the Player Cave. I got former Northwestern star and Chicago legend to Tim Young.
In the building.
I appreciate him coming on through.
Always,
I got group member. He ain't saving no cats from the trees today. It was a little warm.
Yeah, what's up? This me, man.
I got the homie LeVar, group member, also firefighter, one of Chicago's finest.
Man, respect.
We're going to talk about Chicago sports and more, man. We got Bulls basketball. We got Zach LaVine. He might be back Saturday. We're talking Chicago Bears football. They just hired a new coach. They got Kansas City's offensive coordinator. Plus, they just went and got Oregon's head coach. Just read it through the wire. The Chicago Bears just hired a new OC as of a few hours ago.
I like that.
So we're gonna talk about that. We got NBA basketball going on tonight. Right now we watching Maryland and Ohio State. Ohio State giving them business, 52-35.
Big 10.
How y'all fellas feeling though? How y'all weeks been going, man?
Oh, I'm feeling good, man.
It's been a while since y'all been back on the mic and been down the Player Cave, man. Appreciate the bills, but how y'all been doing, Joe? What's been going on?
Hey, surviving, man. That's all I can say right
Ain't
now.
no cat scratch you when you was getting in them trees.
Tuesday they did, man. Too much snow on the ground,
So what's been up with you, Lack?
Man, first off, man, Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bring Your A-Game Sports Show as always, man. Happy New Year to you,
Always.
No, it's been good, man. Relaxing, watching all the bowl games. Got to see the national championship. Watch Alabama get that win. Basketball
man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And starting the year off right, man. It's been a great year. We're looking forward to a blessed year to come ahead this year, man. Looking for some great things to happen.
Hey, man, it's going to be a lot of great things to happen. Don't forget, y'all can catch the podcast later on tonight on the website. Also, y'all can go on Spreaker.com. Also, y'all can just Google it, and it can come up. Shit, that's all you got to do. Just give it a little time, man. Just take your time, go do this Throwback Thursday right here on Black Hippie Radio Entertainment. Bring Your A-Game Sports Talk Radio. So I'm going to throw a little music in there. Get few things smooth and grooving. Then we come back. We're going to talk a little bit sports. We're going to kick it off with the Bears because I want to see what these people got to say about this new coach.
Man.
And then now the new, Oregon's head coach. So, we're going to have a lot of info on that, man. So, we back in y'all ear, man. MC Breed. Tupac. I got to get mine. You gotta get yours.
I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. Hey, you I'm smooth as a wannabe. Step to me, you's a gonna G. Hell yeah, and that's the way it's gonna be. Puffing up on the deck and drinking mad brew. Taking names, and after that I'm kicking ass to breathe. Time to flow. Can I get a rhyme to go? Hell yeah, Pac, and I'll sit back straight up, design it slow. They used to see a young brother come up, another punk run up. He'll have to get his gun up, cause I ain't taking no shorts. Like a Newport Ford exploding the floor like Jordan exploding on the hoop court. And I don't wanna be nothing like Mike, cause even Michael's life gets an itty bitty what trifling. And when you in the spotlight, you get jock, right? But you're not tight, huh? Bucking anybody trying to take mine. When will they realize I'm straight out to get mine? Gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I 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 gotta get mine. Your block. Get yours. I keep my mind on my money, money on my mind. Finger on the trigger, hand on my nine. I'm smoking blunts and skunk, putting holes in pumps and only underground funk pumping out of my trunk. Live the life of a hustler, high till I die. Giving them papers, making papers. Miss me with lies, picture me living out my life as a buster. I'd rather pop up a shot from my Glock and blast other suckers. I live a thug life, maybe I'm hopeless. Choking on Fendo, trying to keep my focus. Don't let the punk cowards worry me. Keep the fame, I'm true to the game till they bury me. God gave me game, so I'm hustling. Pour out some liquor for my homies, Tupac is still struggling. My homie Breed knew the time, whether it's rhyme or crime. I gotta get mine. Gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I 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 gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. Tell me, can you measure the amount of applause I keep getting? Every time I pick up a mic and start spitting, the sidewalks of New York and start bumping, jumping around with my homies in the pound, and I'm down to the fullest. Now see me break that ass off proper. Did I shock you? Cause I got you in my pocket again. You knew Jackson, you Jacks who knew me and my homies when I used to run it way back when. I boasted and roasted and coasted to the pinnacle because of what I do with a pen. It's vernacular precision, connected to lines in this division. Plus, when I add loops and flutes, it's guaranteed to sell like prostitutes. I never had a love for those who put it blunt. They want me in the back, but see I'm in the front, don't front. And really I don't even reply. Pull yourself together as you pass me by. I'm on a whole nother level, and those that's left. I told you before, you can keep it to yourself, divide. So many people lied to have. It's funny what a young brother does for math. I got fractures, caught up in my everyday actions. Point, equal to your real satisfaction. Fucking anybody trying to take mine. When will they realize I'm set out to get mine?
Gotta get mine.
You gotta get yours, Bunham. I gotta get mine.
Yeah, you got to get yours. I got to get mine up.
You got to get yours. I got to get mine.
Hey, get yours.
Bring your A-Game Sports Talk Radio. Down here in the Player Cave, just chilling, man, talking about Chicago sports and more. Got the homie Tim Young down here, plus LeVar. That was MC Brady, Tupac. Gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. We live right now on the air, so y'all can call in 708-328-8923. Y'all can chat with us live, even live on the social media, you know. So just come through and talk, man. That's all we asking. But man, these Chicago Bears, they got busy after the season. And me and CL, we talked about it, you know, somewhat on the last podcast we had, you know. But now I want to hear y'all opinion behind. We're going to take it a step at a time. Now I want to hear y'all opinion about this new coach, which is Nagley. He from Kansas City. Now, he wasn't an offensive coordinator through that whole time. I think he took over, the last 10 games or whatever that was, or the last 12 games.
Yeah,
when they was
something
like
that.
0-4, that's when he took over, after they started 5-0. So, him being up under Andy Reid for 10 years, not even knowing much about his resume, Andy Reid giving him the pat on the back, the A-OK. You know, he's good to go. He's one of the best, which I expect any coach to say about any of the recipients that's leaving away from up under them. I expect him to say something like that. I mean, how y'all feel? Like, be honest.
Personally, you know, when you look at Belichick, you know, his coaching staff is leaving the nest and becoming head coaches themselves, and obviously Belichick A-OK him, and I think we do too because they're champions. Andy Reid is a respectable coach. He's won in Philadelphia, and if this guy's been his understudy for all the time he's been coaching, a part of me feel like, okay, if you've been watching Andy Reid's every move with the success he's had, something in you got to understand how to win.
I dig.
All right, now based off what the Chiefs did, something in me feel a certain kind of way.
Like what did they do that got you feeling a certain kind of way? Because I want to see if it's the same feeling, because that playoff game in that second half got me feeling a certain type of way, if you understand. You know, and you can go to his defense and say, oh, it was a short time, you know, this and that. You can throw all the excuses out there. But at the same time, you Andy Reid boy, you one of the best. He gave you the A-OK. You 10 years. Y'all was one of the picks. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what's your hang up?
It's just like the inconsistency. You know what I mean? Like he's one of them coaches where you be like, alright.
Yeah,
like if they would have been like, you know, we getting Nick Saban. Okay, cool. Like, you know, that feeling come off like that.
Right.
Or, you know, like a winner. I'm just saying, like somebody that make you feel that way.
Why you gotta say Nick Saban? Why you say Nick Saban?
Because he was a recent champion and popped in my ear.
Why you gotta say? Okay.
But that dude is just like, it just made me like like that.
Right.
And I think just that inconsistency is really where I feel is this the guy that's going to lead our program?
What you think? LeVar, what you think, man?
It's to be determined. It's to be determined. But the one thing that gives me a little bit more towards the positive side, there's two things. He's an Andy Reid disciple. If you go down the list and look at Andy Reid's disciples, Sean McVay for the Rams, and he's another young coach. Rams is in the playoffs. Got bounced out the same way Andy Reid them did, but they was in the playoffs.
Young team.
Sean McDermott was a defensive coordinator with him in Philadelphia. He coached Buffalo. Buffalo was a playoff team. What's one more? Ron Rivera is another guy that was an understudy. Carolina's coach. The team was in the playoffs.
Went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Doug Peterson was his quarterback's coach for a long time. They the top seed in NFC and was probably the pick before Carson Wentz went down. So I'm like, that gives me a little hope right there to be, optimistic, but the jury's still out, man, because if you had to put my feet to the fire to say who I wanted them, I would have took that the Steve Wilkes guy from Carolina. I would have took him first because he was another offensive mind, but he has more. He has networked himself around the league where I know he would have put together a better staff and led a disciplined team out there. That's kind of where I stand with that, but they're still out with Nagy, man. So.
I understand. Me personally, I'm just gonna roll with whatever punches, man. Just to sum it up, me personally, I don't necessarily like to get into like the whole management thing. You know how people like to throw that into their argument about management, the reason why the team ain't doing so good, which could, let me say, more than 60%. That is the problem. But I would say the other 40% is the players on the field and the personnel that you putting out there. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a reason why they manage and don't play. You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So my thing is that they bringing out these coaches and everything else. Like, these coaches is not getting the best productivity out these players. You get what I'm saying? So now you have to look at the coaches and the personnel that you putting out there. My thing is, they just went and got the offensive coordinator from he was
Oregon.
the coach Oregon. He went 37-14 or some shit like that or whatever it is when he was there, but they ended up getting fired because they ended up going like 4-11 or some shit. Or it was some shit in 2016.
Yeah.
So, but he never had an NFL coaching job.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So now it's like you just snatching people out the fire and just trying to put some shit together. You get what I'm saying? This is why I'm like real like questionable about the season a little bit.
So we hired a offensive coordinator that just had a terrible season. Like he didn't come off like a bowl
in
win
2016.
like
No.
You know what?
And he been an analyst. You know.
You know what? This is why.
What is his name? I'm going ahead.
This Harry something, but this is why I say I like that move. The NFL game.
His name is Mark Helfrich.
Oh, man, okay.
Mark Helfrich.
I thought it was Henry or Harry or something like
No,
that.
it's Mark Helfrich, former Oregon
No,
coach.
the Harry dude is the offensive line coach they got from Notre Dame.
Okay.
Okay, but with the OC, I like that move because Kansas City was pretty much a running team last year.
37-16, that was his record.
Yeah, Kansas City was pretty much a running team. It was like Lamar Hunt. It was like Hunt or bust with that team. So it's like you're gonna run the ball, but then you have to bring in like an up-to-date offense. And if you look around the league, everything is just so spread out. Now, the OC we brought in has head coaching experience, even though it's on a college level, but he has head coach experience. But he never ranked lower than fifth in offenses, whether he was a coordinator or a head coach. So you gotta take that for what it's worth.
And then in like football, unlike basketball, football teams, like the side of the ball is like kind of that coordinator's head coaching position. Yeah. So like if you're in charge of the offense, like you have your own meetings, your own practices, your own studies. Yeah. If you're in charge of the defense, the defensive coach have his own meetings